Hey everyone, AngryHoneyBadger and Ranger here with more tips and advice for Season 5. We have seen many changes come to League of Legends. Largest among the changes are the introduction to the new jungle items, Stalkers Blade, Poachers Knife, Skirmisher's Sabre, and Ranger's Trailblazer, and their augments, Warrior, Magus, Juggernaut, and Devourer. We're going to take a look at what these items do and examples of which you might want to use.
The starting item is Hunter's Machete. This is a must-have for junglers. There might be other starting items, but it is very specific to the champion. The machete can be built into 4 items. Each of these gives a different effect when smite is used. All of them grant the passive called Jungler, which deals 45 damage on hit to monsters over 2 seconds, and you gain 10 health and 5 mana regen while in combat with monsters. This is your sustain in the jungle.
Let's start with the Poacher's Knife. When smite kills a large monster in the enemy jungle, your smite timer is halved and you gain 20 extra gold and a burst of speed for 2 seconds. This is for junglers that are dedicated to ruining the fun for the enemy jungler. You spend your time behind enemy lines and need that burst of speed to escape quickly. This item we don't recommend for people who are just learning the new jungle or are new to the jungle.
Next on the list is Ranger's Trailblazer. This item isn't actually named after me, which is a shame. However, it's the easiest to use effectively. So it does half of smite's damage in an AoE around the target. It also restores 15% of missing health and mana.
Next is the Stalkers Blade. Smite can be used on enemies to deal a bit of damage and reduce their movement speed for 2 seconds. This is for junglers that might have a hard time staying on the target but do plenty of damage. This can work well for champions like Rengar, Jarvan, and Evelynn, and others. It just gives you that little extra crowd control.
And finally, there is Skirmisher's Sabre. This gives Smite the ability to cast on an enemy, but this time it marks them. You get to hit them for extra true damage and have vision on them. They also hit you for 20% less damage. This is for champions that have no problem staying on someone for a few hits, like Warwick, Vi, and Udyr.
The items then go through another step, where you can enchant them. Basically, you enchant them to give them another effect. Think of it like the boot enchantment. It's another addition for the item. For Warrior, you combine a Brutalizer with this item to give it 45 damage, 10% cooldown reduction, and 10 armor penetration. This is good for your junglers like Pantheon, Rengar, and Xin Zhao. This item makes you hurt them a lot, especially in the early game.
Next is Magus. This is your AP jungle item. It gives you 80 ability power and 20% cooldown reduction. Jungle champions like Elise, Amumu, and Diana will use this item effectively.
Now we move on to Juggernaut. This is the tanking item. This item will give you 500 health, 10% cooldown reduction, and tenacity. This item really catches the eye with the tenacity. It allows you to build another type of boots other than Mercury Treads, or just build Mercury Treads and get even more tenacity.
And finally, Devourer. This item is the Feral Flare of Season 5. It does 25 magic damage on hit, and 50% attack speed too. Also, when you kill large monsters, it grows by 1 damage, and kills and assists on enemies gives 2 damage. This item is amazing on champions like Kayle, Yi, and even Warwick if you're focusing on farming that jungle till you can break the game apart.
This video was full of information. Knowledge is power, and with that power, you can easily dominate your opponents on the Rift. Be sure to check back in the future for more Season 5 tips for lolling.